on the outskirts of Maplewood, nestled among the sprawling green hills and quaint cottages. A small bakery named Hope and Crust stood quietly, its wooden sign swaying gently in the wind. Inside, baking transformed from a chore into an act of sheer affection for 18-year-old Jonah Webb. His hands were perpetually dusted with flour, his forearms streaked with tiny smudges of dough, and the warmth of the oven surrounded him like a comforting embrace. Each morning, as he prepared cinnamon rolls and loaves of bread, Jonah reminded himself of what had brought him to this point, a love for creation that rivaled the bittersweet reality of life. Jonah was no stranger to hardship. His father left them when he was only 7, the weight of his departure trickling down into countless moments of scarcity. His mother worked tirelessly at 2 jobs, cleaning offices during the night and waiting tables at the local diner during the day, weariness etched into her face as she masked her exhaustion with a soft smile. As the eldest, Jonah embraced responsibilities that felt heavy on his shoulders. He attended school while managing the bakery after hours, trying to bolster their income in tiny ways. Though the credits in his life felt far outweighed by the debts, he found solace in the act of baking, turning pain into pastries and worries into warm breads that filled both their bellies and hearts. It was his birthday, a day that usually meant a scant few coins handed to him by his mother, no cake to cut, just the hope for a better tomorrow. But this year, something felt different. Jonah had received an unexpected gift from a mentor at the bakery, $20, meant for a birthday treat or whatever his heart desired. At that moment, he envisioned splurging on a savory dish he'd been craving or stuffing his pockets with sweets he'd long denied himself. But instead, forging against the gnawing desire and instinct that urged him to treat himself, a different thought seeped into his mind. Outside the bakery, as he wiped flour from his brow and peeked through the window, he noticed a figure on the sidewalk. A man, rugged and weary, sat hunched over against a lamppost, wearing a jacket frayed at the seams. Jonah had seen him roaming the streets before. The emptiness in the man's eyes mirrored his own struggles, and unbidden, compassion began to swell in Jonah's heart. 30 minutes passed as he kneeled on the cold floor of the kitchen, the smell of pastries mingling in the air, until he finally decided. With the $20 clasped tightly in his palm, Jonah ventured outside, his heart pounding as he approached. He offered a friendly smile as he knelt down to the man's eye level. "Hey there, I know this isn't much, but would you like something to eat?" The man looked at Jonah, a flicker of surprise sparking behind his tired gaze. You really want to help me?" His voice was just as worn as his face, both shimmering with disbelief and gratitude. Nodding, Jonah cautiously pulled out his awkwardly small lunch bag, filled with pastries he had baked earlier, along with a banana and a warm muffin had just come out of the oven. "I made this for us. You look like you could use it more than I could right now." The man's facade cracked, and for the first time in a long while, a genuine smile graced his lips. "You're a good kid." "Thank you. I haven't had a decent meal in a while." As he tore into the muffin, the crumbs fell away like barriers of worry fluttering into the air. Jonah felt something shift within him, a connection forged out of kindness, and every struggle he had faced, every ounce of pain, seemed soothed in that moment. Standing, he handed over a couple of more pastries before offering one last smile, a gesture that felt as if it could heal both their wounds. Years passed, as years often do, filled with countless days spent monitoring the dough rising, laughter shared with his mother, and evenings where the warm embrace of the bakery became a sanctuary. Yet Jonah carried the memory of that exchange in his heart, echoing it often whenever the weight of the world pressed down too hard. What had begun as an instantaneous act of kindness blossomed into a spirit of giving that gnawed at the corners of his soul, opening a doorway that led into empathy, and the realization that the most potent solution to struggle lay not within material wealth, but within the act of connecting, of being seen, of being valued. Then came the turning point. It was a rainy autumn day when a letter arrived, yellowed with age and addressed to him in a handwriting he didn't recognize. Jonah opened it with curiosity, fingers trembling as he recognized the aroma of fresh ink. Inside it read, "Dear Jonah, thank you for your kind gift on that chilly day. I can hardly believe how long it has been since our paths crossed. Your generosity changed my life in ways you couldn't imagine. After that day, I promised I would turn my life around. I found a job and secured a small place to live. Your kindness ignited a spark within me that I thought was extinguished forever. I would love to reunite and share my story. With heartfelt gratitude, Samuel." In the following moments, Jonah could hardly breathe. The intrinsic bond he had momentarily nurtured had transformed into something unimaginable, a connection that rippled out far beyond their fleeting encounter. As he considered reaching out, warmth encircled his heart. Perhaps this was not merely a letter, but an echo of hopes rejuvenated, an invitation to intertwine their lives once more, to create a legacy that transcended their individual struggles. Jonah was ready to step out of the bakery and embrace a new journey, one painted with kindness and compassion, where the act of giving had not only enriched another's life but had unwittingly begun to alter his own. Jonah sat at the small round table in the corner of his bakery, the letter still fresh in his hands, its ink almost glowing with potential. The words danced in his mind, igniting old memories along with a fierce desire to reconnect with Samuel. He glanced around the familiar setting, decorated with bright flowers and shelves lined with baked goods. This place had sheltered him, but his heart ached to forge new bonds, to expand the family he had built through compassion. A week passed, and Jonah found himself drafting a response to Samuel. The act of writing felt liberating, and he shared everything: the challenges, the triumphs, and the love he poured into every pastry. With each word, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, an intoxicating joy that reignited the warmth in his heart. "I'd love to meet," Jonah wrote. "Let's grab coffee at Hope and Crust. I want to hear about your journey." The day came when Samuel walked through the bakery door, vibrant and full of life. The warm scent of freshly baked muffins filled the air, wrapping around them like a soft hug. Jonah was surprised at how much time had passed since they'd last met, but there was no hesitation, no distance in the recognition between them. Samuel's eyes gleamed with the fire of resilience, and Jonah felt that same spirit awaken within him. "Jonah," Samuel exclaimed, arms extended wide, "can you believe it?" They embraced, and as if springing back to life, laughter flowed freely. Over coffee and pastries, Samuel shared his journey, the ups and downs of change, and how the simple act of kindness led him to find a job at a local construction company. It wasn't easy, he confessed, accumulating the courage it took to gather his life back together. "But your muffins, they reminded me that there is goodness left in the world." "Just a few pastries," Jonah replied, a humble smile brightening his face. But as Samuel spoke, Jonah began to realize that it wasn't just about those muffins. It was about hope, possibility, and the power one small gesture could hold. The conversation broadened into shared dreams and ambitions, and after a few hours, Samuel leaned back in his chair, a sparkle in his eye. "I've been thinking," he began cautiously. "Would you consider partnering on a baking project? I want to do something to give back, perhaps a program for the homeless, teaching them how to cook and bake. I know firsthand how it feels to sit alone, and I believe we could create something wonderful together." Jonah's heart fluttered at the idea. There was an unspoken understanding between them, both of them yearning to break down barriers in their community and share the joy of hope, one recipe at a time. It was a challenge that felt monumental yet tremendously fulfilling. "I think that's amazing," Jonah said, grinning brightly. "We could have classes right here. Imagine the impact." They dove deep into the logistics and potential outcomes, time slipping away from them as hours melted into the beauty of shared purpose. By the end of their meeting, Jonah felt invigorated, his spirit soaring as he envisioned their project taking shape. Encouraged by Samuel's enthusiasm, he began brainstorming ways to expand the bakery's reach, further hosting community events, collaborating with other local businesses, and utilizing sustainable ingredients. As the weeks rolled by, so did the ripple effects of their kindness. Jonah noticed people began entering Hope and Crust not just for pastries, but also for a warm seat in conversation. Samuel reached out to local organizations, relishing in the progress they began to make, bringing in people who needed not just food, but nurturing guidance. Just as their plans were gaining momentum, a company called Flourish approached them, intrigued by the bakery's vibrant community spirit and heartfelt journey. "We've heard about what you are building here," said the representatives, their excitement virtually radiating. "We believe it aligns beautifully with our mission to give back, supporting local entrepreneurs. How would you feel about creating a grant together?" Jonah's mind raced. A grant? It sounded so far away, yet tantalizingly close. They proposed a substantial fund, over $10,000, designated for their baking program designed to uplift and empower the homeless community. The prospect sent shivers down his spine, his heart beating faster. Yes, he found himself saying, "Absolutely, we would love to." The initial discussions flowed seamlessly, punctuated with laughter and optimism. By collaborating with Flourish, Jonah and Samuel would have not only the financial support to initiate their program, but also mentorship from established bakers, allowing their vision to blossom beyond their wildest dreams. They could create a business that served both as a bakery and a learning hub. "Can you believe it?" Samuel exclaimed, high-fiving Jonah as they celebrated together. They discussed how to channel the funds, deliberating on workshops, equipment, and even hiring a culinary instructor who could help lead the classes, transforming Hope and Crust from not just a bakery but into a nurturing community hub fostering hope. As news spread throughout the neighborhood, the bakery transformed new students walking in, their worn faces lighting up with curiosity. Jonah witnessed each one blossom with newfound skills, finding nourishment not just in their stomachs but also in their spirits. The program became a beacon of hope, with former students returning to help mentor fresh faces, creating a cycle of kindness that warmed Jonah's heart. One cool winter morning, as snow whispered gently outside the bakery, Samuel approached Jonah with a tender smile. "It's working, isn't it?" he mused, nodding toward a group of students eagerly preparing dough. Jonah felt the joy radiate from within, a warmth igniting his chest. "I can't even express what this means to me," he replied. The two stood watching the laughter flow freely, observing how each student intermingled, hands reaching out to assist, knowledge exchanged, and lives transformed. The ripple effects of that one act of kindness had turned into a cascade, saturating the community with hope. But then, one of the students, Mia, a teenager who had once faced homelessness, approached Jonah timidly. "Can I talk to you for a second?" she said, her voice tinged with nervous excitement. Of course, Jonah smiled, kneeling beside her. "I've been thinking," she said, gazing toward the floor. "Once I get better at baking, I want to help others, just like you and Samuel have helped me. I found a small catering job, and I think I can keep working on my baking skills while helping out." Jonah felt his heart swell, a mixture of pride and joy washing over him. "That's incredible, Mia. I'm so proud of you," he encouraged. "You've got talent and heart, and I can't wait to see where it takes you." "I'd like to start a small business," she continued, her eyes brightening, "to make cupcakes for birthdays and celebrations. Is that something you could help me with?" The spark of inspiration ignited. Jonah nodded, excited about the possibility. "Absolutely, we can work on that together. I'll help you with recipes and business planning. Luckily, we have the funds now." As Mia's dream began taking shape within the walls of Hope and Crust, Jonah felt the old ache of his struggles fade, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose. Each moment spent helping Mia set her cupcakes into motion pulled him deeper into the network of resilience and connection. Through this intersection of dreams, more pathways opened, drawing others into their circle of kindness. A former student, Nate, expressed interest in marketing and began crafting social media campaigns to bolster the bakery's visibility, leading to increased sales that further supported their community initiatives. With time, Hope and Crust flourished both financially and emotionally. Jonah's dream expanded beyond his original vision, creating a supportive ecosystem filled with mutual growth, laughter, and love. Everywhere he looked, hope blossomed. A flourishing community took root in the neighborhood, a testament to the butterfly effect initiated by a small act of kindness. As winter rolled into spring, Jonah found himself leaning against the entryway of the bakery one bright morning, arms crossed, and a content smile brightening his face as the sun bathed everything in light. It was a gathering day for their new students, eyes reflecting determination as they entered together, sprinkling mutual support into the program they had built. Samuel sidled up next to him, sharing a knowing grin. "We did this, didn't we?" he asked, his voice warm. "Yes," Jonah breathed, absorbing the moment. "And it all started with a simple act of muffins shared on a rainy day." They stood in silence, taking it all in, the laughter, the interactions, the journeys that had come full circle. Jonah realized how profoundly they had impacted not only their lives but the lives of others. Kindness would continue to flourish like an eternal spring, allowing everyone to grow in its warmth. With a heart full of eager anticipation, Jonah turned to Samuel and nodded toward the students. "Let's keep this going," he said. "Let's share this story and inspire even more people to join us." Finances may have once felt like shackles, but they transformed into pathways, the scaffolding of stability, allowing their dreams to take flight, reaching not only the stars but also the souls of countless people in their community. In sharing their story, perhaps they could influence even more lives. Perhaps they could create a wave that spread beyond Maplewood and reached distant corners of the world. Whatever happened next, Jonah understood kindness begets kindness. And in this interconnected fabric of humanity, laughter and love would forever ripple outward. Spring blossomed into summer, and the once bustling bakery of Hope and Crust became a vibrant hub of creativity and connection. The warmth of the sun poured through the windows, bathing the room in golden light. Fresh pastries lined the counter, their fragrance mingling sweetly with the ocean of laughter and chatter spilling from students eager to learn the intricacies of baking. Jonah, now more confident, stepped into his role as mentor, guiding a diverse group filled with hopes and dreams of their own. One Thursday afternoon, classes had come to an end, and the students gathered around the large oak table that took center stage in the bakery. Sprinkling flour on the surface became a playful tradition, a metaphor for their shared dreams. Laughter echoed as they raced to create the most splendid designs out of icing, bonding over mistakes and celebrating laughs at their flubs. As Jonah wiped his hands on his apron, he noticed a glimmer of excitement in Mia's eyes as she held up a colorful cupcake adorned with sprinkles. "Jonah, check this out," she said, her enthusiasm infectious. "Wow, Mia, that's vibrant. It's like a piece of art," Jonah praised, almost forgetting that just months ago, she had entered this space with trepidation. "I've been thinking." She hesitated, earning curious glances from the group. "What if we hosted a cupcake sale to raise money for our project?" The proposal sparked a wave of enthusiasm, the students chattering excitedly about ideas for flavors, themes, and decorations. In that moment, Jonah realized how far they had all come, not just Mia, but everyone around the table. They had become a family supporting each other in their journey of transformation. "Let's do it," Jonah said, a smile stretching across his face, embracing the collective hope shimmering in the air. "We can set it up in the park next Saturday. I'll help you with the logistics, and we can work together to make it a success." Ideas flowed relentlessly that week. As the students channeled their excitement into preparations, they painted banners, baked batches of cupcakes in every imaginable flavor, and shared roles to ensure everything ran smoothly. Jonah supported them in printing flyers, collaborating with local businesses to spread the word. Saturday arrived, and the sun laughed from above as locals descended upon the park, drawn by the delicious aroma wafting through the air. Hope and Crust's stall was adorned with vibrant ribbons and cheerful decorations, showcasing an array of cupcakes that dazzled the senses. Children tugged at their parents' sleeves, while adults mingled, eager to help support the budding initiative. As the customers flocked to their stall, Jonah couldn't help but feel a sense of pride swell within him. He marveled at how an idea born from Mia's courage had developed into this beautiful manifestation of hope. The line stretched, and the laughter of customers filled the air, weaving itself into the fabric of the community. "Mia," Jonah called out as she poured sprinkles over another tray. "Let's take a moment to celebrate this." With a gesture, Mia stepped back to absorb the scene unfolding before them. The sight of happy faces enjoying cupcakes created something transcendent, a spirit of camaraderie that eclipsed financial struggles. "We did it," Mia whispered, tears glistening in her eyes. As time passed, the kids hustled to meet the demand, their camaraderie evident as they worked tirelessly. Jonah sensed the magic, as if everyone was connected like the threads of an intricate tapestry woven by kindness. Each cupcake sold brought a genuine smile, not just for its deliciousness but because of the thoughts and intentions baked into each layer. In the end, the sale was a resounding success. They raised nearly $1,000, a number that left them all breathless with disbelief. The students threw high fives and exchanged gleeful hugs, whirling in a jubilant dance of joy amidst the cheers. When the crowd finally began to dwindle, Jonah gathered everyone around, their faces glowing with excitement and achievement. "This is not just about the money raised," he began, his voice ringing with earnestness. "It's about the connections we've built and the hope we've fostered. You've poured your hearts into this project, and look at how far we've come. Let this be our reminder as we rise, we lift others along with us." Amidst laughter and applause, Jonah watched as Mia stepped forward, her gaze steady and full of conviction. "This is only the beginning. We can do so much more, grow further, expand our vision, and keep sharing our success." Through their collaborative efforts, the program thrived, and Mia's Cupcake Initiative led to a line of additional fundraising events and community gatherings. The money raised helped support local shelters and programs while simultaneously empowering their peers to pursue their passions and dreams. As the weeks unfolded, Jonah noticed a profound shift within himself. He had grown into a leader, a beacon of hope not just for his students but for the wider community. He understood the ripple effect of kindness they had set in motion. Among the helping hands and warm hearts, Jonah's own journey had intertwined seamlessly with others, weaving a tapestry that celebrated compassion over currency. One evening, with the bakery bathed in soft twilight, Samuel and Jonah sat down to reflect on how far they had come. They had both embraced such transformation, driven by acts of kindness that spiraled into waves of gratitude and truly heartfelt connections. "Can you believe it?" Samuel mused, stirring his coffee as he glanced around the bakery, a wistful smile playing at his lips. "It's incredible how everything has changed, how a simple muffin led to all this." "Absolutely," Jonah nodded, his heart swelling. "Kindness, community, and connection. It's all about lifting each other, even in the smallest of ways." As their conversation fluttered from memories of struggles to delightful anecdotes, the warm flickering of candles cast shadows on the walls, and Jonah reflected on how his life had transformed. The weight of his financial worries felt lighter and manageable now, but the true wealth he had gained lay not in monetary gains. It blossomed in shared laughter, transformed lives, and a collective spirit of upliftment. "Jonah," Samuel said, breaking Jonah from his thoughts and drawing him back into their hearts. "We have a unique opportunity here. Let's take what we've built and grow it even further. Beyond just our local community, we can inspire others in towns and cities across our region. Imagine hosting workshops, creating online content to share our journey, and empowering other aspiring bakers to find their light," Jonah interjected, his excitement bubbling to the surface like a fresh batch of dough rising. "That could further amplify this impact, creating a movement of giving back and shared kindness." As they sketched dreams for their future project, tears sprang to Jonah's eyes. He felt an overwhelming sense of hope, gratitude rolling through him like a wave. The ghosts of his past seemed to fade, replaced by a firm belief in the power of connection. That night, they laid plans for a crowdfunding campaign to support their vision, seeking to engage others in their call to action. With each passing day that the bakery thrived, Jonah felt a deeper understanding swell within him, the knowledge that the act of giving had reignited a sense of self-worth and renewal in himself, paving new pathways to hope that sprawled far beyond Maplewood. Months later, at a community gathering held in a local park, Jonah stood before a small crowd, heart racing as he prepared to share their story. It had become an annual event, a celebration of community love and unity fueled by the ripple effects of kindness. "Today is not just about pastries and cupcakes," Jonah declared, looking into the smiling faces before him. "It's about our journey together, how kindness, however small it may seem, can create powerful memories and pave the way for future change." The crowd erupted in applause as Jonah recounted how a simple act had transformed their lives, highlighting the sincerity and the connections they had forged. He spoke candidly about the challenges they had faced, gratitude threading through every word as he acknowledged everyone who had contributed. "I'm filled with awe at our growth," he continued. "And let's keep spreading this light together. Let's make it a tradition to share our culinary skills with those who might be struggling, showing them the beauty in each moment and the flavors life has to offer." Cheers erupted once more, and Jonah's heart ignited with warmth as he witnessed the collective spirit they had nurtured. In that vibrant park, it finally dawned on him he had learned an essential truth. True wealth flourished not from monetary assets, but through the ripples of kindness woven among kindred spirits who dared to share their light, who believed in the power of connection and what it could achieve. In the months and years that followed, the reach of Hope and Crust expanded, touching countless lives and bringing hundreds of smiles. Jonah's story became a testament to the unbreakable spirit of community and the life-changing power of kindness, a legacy that connected hearts, fed souls, and ignited hope across generations. As Jonah stood there among friends new and old, watching as laughter mingled with the aroma of baked goods in the air, he settled into a contented realization: life was not merely about the struggles conquered or the successes gained, but rather the connections made and the compassion shared. The journey ahead shimmered with possibility, each new day offering an opportunity to inspire others and foster growth. With every step he took beyond that moment, Jonah would remember that every act of kindness carries the potential to spark change, becoming a catalyst for hope and a limitless wellspring of transformation. And as long as he allowed that spirit of giving to guide him, his heart would remain forever entwined with those who chose to walk the path of compassion alongside him.